It's good to be back. I love this campus. I love it every time I come. I appreciate what you are doing here today. I thank Chancellor Katay for meeting me when I came in, and I want to thank this class debate. Let's go back to facts.
Yeah!
People that ask questions in debates used to be called. Say is, if you look at this crowd and you look at these guys, you see what America is about. We have standing on the stage 4 people who believe for very different reasons that a country of we're all in this together works way better than a country of you're on your own. A country of shared prosperity with a growing middle class and where poor people have a dignified, honorable chance to work their way into it. Focuses on the future instead of giving away everything. We know in our party we have to be strong, but you can't kill, steal, or occupy all your enemies in an interdependent world. We need a world with more partners and fewer enemies. Before that, he was a vast farmer with a big family or a rancher. So I asked him about the price of cattle, I asked him about the price of alfalfa. We were talking, farmers are supposed to be self-reliant. There's not a farmer on earth that doesn't understand that when bad weather comes or bad prices come or natural disasters occur, we're all in this together. We're expecting. The product of the American dream. It's an immigrant family. I believe there are plenty of people that need health care, so medical professionals ought to worry about giving it to them instead of trying to control women's choices. Pieces of the American dream. Then you've got Congressman McNerney. One thing he didn't tell you is that for years and years, have done more to take us from the back of the pack to the front of the pack in the production of solar and wind energy than any administration in history. And his opponent says we got to get rid of those tax credits for wind. We got to get rid of those tax credits. I'd rather have a guy that worked more than 2 decades to prove that wind energy is good economics and good for the environment, and who understands if you want to save the planet, you can't ask people to turn out the lights. You have to make energy more efficient, and you have to make it cleaner, and you have to find a way to make it good economics. And it means something to me. Advances since the Vietnam War in medical care is in battlefield medicine. More and more and more people who once would have died live. But in the conflicts in both Iraq and Afghanistan, more and more of those who lived who once would have are obvious and painfully paralyzing to them. Some of them are less obvious, but they still cause empowerment. We have a profound obligation to them. Whatever you thought about either one of those conflicts, every one of those young men and women has a right to begin their lives again. And this man then you have Hernandez. In a family of migrant farm workers, got all the way to graduate school, went to work at the Livermore National Lab, worked on nuclear non-proliferation in Russia. That's one of the great success stories of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And for every woman here, played a major role in developing what is called full-field digital mammography, which is another way of saying there's a lot more women who survive breast cancer today because of what we do. And when Mr. Romney talks about how dependent we all are, all of us Democrats, we don't believe in self-reliance, he tried not once, not twice, but 12 times until he was finally accepted as an astronaut and went into space to the space station for us. That is a long way. We don't need any lectures on self-reliance. What we need is a roadmap to a brighter future, and these guys will give it to you. I want you to vote for all of them. They represent America. Now, you can't vote for all of them at once. You've got to be in one of their districts. But I mean, even though the other guys are trying hard to keep you at home, I want you to vote just one. Now, what do I say to them? They represent the Democratic Party, and you do. Our future, our diversity, our focus on the future. Our unwillingness to advance ourselves at the expense of others who, through no fault of their own, cannot defend themselves. And I want you to just think about this. This is what really matters. You know, sometimes I think the most popular line in my speech at the Democratic Convention in Charlotte was arithmetic. Does help clear things up. For example, in the last 50 years, since 1961, 52 years now, since January of 61, the Republicans had the White House 28 years, we had the White House 24 years. 66 million private sector jobs have been created. What's the job score? Democrats 42, Republicans 24. President Obama has faced roadblock after roadblock after roadblock in the last 2 years, but thanks in no small measure to the initiatives adopted in the first 2 years of his presidency, since the beginning of 2011, or 2010, and basically 2 years and 9 months, the private economy has produced 5.3 million jobs. That is twice as many as were produced in the 7 years of the Bush administration after the first little recession in 2001 and before the crash. We won't count the crash against him, even if you don't. Obama wins 2-1. Going back to what didn't work in a different package. And then there are those other, like, pesky numbers. When President Obama's opponent said period of time, what does the arithmetic tell us? His state, with one of the finest technology bases in America, ranked 47th in job creation and 48th in new small business creation. Somehow that sort of escapes the ether. Because it was